Hello, it's me. Hello from the outside. At least I can say that I've tried to tell you I'm sorry for breaking your heart anymore.
Songwriting has always been more than like just songwriting to me. It's been really like healing for me, as it's like in a way of expression, in a way that I can put my thoughts into words and stuff when I'm not able to say it. I started voice lessons when I was 6 because my mom took me because she didn't want me like screaming for the rest of my life.
Well, I am what she calls her momager, so I'm kind of like the manager. I manage her schedule, I manage her bookings, I manage her, all of her activities related to music.
So I started singing at the Grapevine Opry when I was 9 with a live band, and I think that's where I got all my stage experience. And so I think learning and meeting all those musicians, because those are some of the best musicians in the DFW area, that I finally was like, okay, maybe like this could like be my thing. I could actually do this. Like it wasn't just like something I did on the weekends anymore. Like that's all I wanted to do.
She said, "Mom, what else would I do but music? What else would I do? That's what I love. That's what is inside of me, and that's what I want to do."
After the Opry, I kind of went on to doing more things with just like my name. Like it wasn't like Abbey Cone at the Grapevine Opry. It was just like an Abbey Cone show.
It's supposed to be love, the kind that you only
I started going to Nashville when I was 12, and I think I just wanted, like, that's always been like the country music capital of the world. Like you have to go to Nashville if you want to be a country singer, And I think I just told my mom, I was like, "Mom, I want to go to Nashville." And so we took our first trip when I was 12, and we just kind of did like the basic touristy things. But then we started meeting people. It's so crazy how many people you just meet and like run into, and they have something to do with the industry. Like I feel so at home in Tennessee because it's like you walk down the street and you see people with a guitar on their back. And that's what I realized. I finally fit in somewhere. It's like I don't have to feel weird about it anymore, So I finally just told my mom, I was like, "What would you think of homeschool?"
We decided at that point that she would finish her high school homeschooling so that we could continue to travel back and forth, and she could also, take bookings and gigs, and it wouldn't interfere with her school, and she could accelerate.
That year from when I went out of freshman year into online school was like the hardest. That was the hardest thing I've ever had to do, just because there were so many changes. Like I felt so isolated. Like I'll go through periods of time where I just get really depressed, and I don't, like it's a weird thing for me to talk about. I don't like to talk about it a lot, but like I just get so down, and I'm like, I don't understand because I have so many things to be happy about. I think it's made me realize how much people take it for granted. Like I still go to the football games and stuff like when I can, but that just makes it kind of harder because I see all these people like in the student section living it, and like I don't get that. And I've lost friends because of it, and it's been like a sacrifice.
I knew that this had to be her, and it had to be her passion and her desire, and so we backed off a little bit and took some of the pressure off, and then when she was ready to start back up again, she always found her way back to, this is what I want to do.
If I didn't want it as bad as I do and want my career, I would have been back in public school like 6 months after I got out. I think I've always been kind of different in that way. Like I think this is what I want, this is what I want to do, and I can't have both, and I understand that now, but that's been the hardest thing to understand. My first album, the Abbey album, I wrote that whole album over the time I transitioned into homeschool. I went through a lot of stuff, so that album's pretty sad. Like it's a depressing album, which is fine. Like I want to be real to people and people who listen to my music. Like I want people to be able to relate to it on a personal level. Like what an honor for someone to like take a song that I wrote and like my experience and like have the privilege of being related to their life. Biggest turning point in my career is it's been in Texas when I sang with Josh Abbott. I've met him before like as a fan, like in a meet and greet thing, which was like, that's so cool to like actually know him now. But like I went to a radio show. Justin Frizzell at 95.9 has Texas Red Dirt Roads, and it's his live Sunday radio show. And I went to just watch, and I went up to Justin before the show and just said hey or whatever, and I was totally kidding. And I was like, hey, I know all the words to Oh Tonight if you want to like if I want to duet with Josh or anything. I was literally kidding, and he ended up pulling me up
A young
there.
lady by the name of Abbey Cone. And she is here today, and she asked, I would love to sing Oh Tonight with Josh
It gave
Abbott.
people like an opportunity to actually know who I was. So like me and Josh never had like a formal introduction. Like we sang together and then we met.
I'm gonna set aside my pride.
And then finally up until like just writing, really working hard at it until last couple months ago, I finally started my first publishing deal. Like that was a huge thing for me because it's cool when someone is like, yeah, I love your voice, like you're a really cool artist, but then it's like when someone loves your songwriting, just because that's such a special thing to you and it's like your words, that's the coolest thing. And a girl just recently put This Ain't Your Heartbreak on hold to cut and possibly, and she's working with like George Strait's producer and stuff.
He didn't leave you with memories you
It's been really neat to watch her career build and her to find certain successes that she's proud of. And maybe she'll get there and maybe she won't, but as long as she's making great music and she's enjoying herself and she's happy, then to me it's all success.
It's never gonna be about money or anything materialistic like that. I know everyone's situation is not gonna be my exact situation that I had in that song, but it's like my hope is that it can be specific enough for it to help them in some way and for it to relate to them. Like whether it's like a heartbreak song, whether it can help them get through that, or whether it's like a really fun song and it makes them feel like they want to roll down the windows and like laugh, you know, it's like my main goal is just that it relates to someone. So just kind of keep doing the same thing I'm doing and see where it takes me.